Hello everyone, welcome back to Armchair Armoury, and it's finished about 2.5 hours ago at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal won, Fulham won. It wasn't a great performance, but I kind of expected that after the high energy and the high emphatic performance that we put in Prague. I expected changes today. I didn't expect as many as there were, but I expected changes today. I thought that, people like Partey and Pepe would be relegated to the bench due to the travel and etc. There are actually 4 changes made today. Bellerin came in for Chambers, Gabriel came in for Pablo Mari, Elneny came in for Partey, and Martinelli came in for Pepe. But I thought that was a good enough squad to, a good enough starting 11 to win the game. I thought that the way that we started was quite good. We looked almost as bright as we were against Slavia Prague. However, after a while, we sort of took the foot off the gas a little bit and allowed Fulham back into the game to the point of where they had a chance where the ball one of their players took a shot and the ball ricocheted off of I think it must have come off of Holding, and it just trickled. And Matt Ryan, who was in goal, who replaced Leno, so that's 5 changes, basically was in the wrong position, and the ball just trickled past the post and went off for a goal kick. So luckily, if it was just an inch more to the right, it would have been a goal to them. They would have gone 1-0 up. Then after that, it was kind of similar story of Arsenal season really, where we end up with many chances and we don't put them away. And I think the fact that we didn't have Partey in midfield and we didn't have some of the strength from like Tierney being out and the crossing ability of Chambers, for example, we had Bellerin there at right back. It definitely showed today. And then shortly after that moment, we had a chance at their goal where there was a cross from Martinelli, that was brought down by Saka. Saka laid it off to Bellerin. Bellerin crossed it back in, and at the far post, Ceballos headed it in. But the goal was ruled out because of due to VAR saying it was offside, or saying that Saka was offside when the ball was played. So we go in at 0-0, and I couldn't really see what was offside. It looked like the top of Saka's boot was like a hair's breadth off of offside. So I don't know, where VAR is going, but people are complaining about it, but I think it's there to do a job, and at the moment it's doing a job. Whether you love it or hate it, it's there to do a job, and pragmatically it's doing its job. But my whole reaction to that was, yep, it's been ruled out, you've got to move on. Exactly the same thing that happened when Emil Smith-Rowe's goal got ruled out against Slavia Prague. I was like, you just have to carry on, like start again, take the goal kick and start again. That's all you have to do. Then went in at halftime 0-0, probably suited Fulham more than it did us at that point, because by law of averages we were probably the better side in the first half. Came out in the second half, same sort of thing. We sort of started a bit slowly, kind of it was a scrappy sort of like, it was a poor game really overall. But then around the hour mark we gave away a penalty, a challenge on Lemina by Gabriel swearing blind that he didn't do anything by putting his hands up in the air. But there's arguments to say that Lemina dived over Gabriel. I know that Gabriel got the ball first, but still, to me, it looked like a penalty anyway. I think VAR checked it and said it was a penalty, obviously. And then that was converted by Josh Maja. So it's 1-0 to Fulham. And by this point, I was starting to think, yeah, this is going to be one of those games. As I said, I kind of expected it. I was expecting that, after the emphatic performance against Slavia Prague, that we'd come to a home game against Fulham and lose. And then after that, I suppose there was a little bit of fight. We were trying, to be fair. And finally, all that trying paid off. And Nketiah had come on for Lacazette due to Lacazette going down injured. And there was 7 minutes of added time, and in the 97th minute there was a corner from Saka, which was flicked on by Matt Ryan of all people. He came up for the final set piece. Matty Ryan flicks it on. It falls to Ceballos, who drives in a shot. It goes across the goal. Their keeper Areola saves it. It parries it out to Nketiah, who rebounds it back in. 1-1, and we didn't play for very much longer after that full-time whistle went, and we went away with a draw. The good thing is, my FIFA simulation predicted the score, which I kind of actually thought. I thought it would be like a 1-1 or we'd lose this or something like that, because it seems to always happen after European nights, not just Arsenal, but to teams in general, which is why I can't understand the meltdown. You know, I'm seeing people saying, sack Arteta tonight and all this kind of stuff, and it's just a massive overreaction. We didn't play well. It was another one of those games where we had chances, we had chance after chance, we didn't put them away. Martinelli had so many chances, I think 2 or 3, to at least get us level at the time. Yeah, it wasn't a good performance. You know, it was a typical kind of, you know, inconsistent Arsenal performance. I'm just happy we got out of there with a draw. I'm not celebrating the draw by any means, but I'm happy we didn't lose the game. The other thing I've seen coming out of that people were complaining about Nketiah and the rest of the team celebrating. I think it was more about the team celebrating rather than Nketiah. I don't really see. I mean, I get it. I think I saw a picture of like Arteta telling them to get back to the centre circle as quickly as possible, which sort of makes sense. There was still time left, even though in reality there kind of wasn't. We'd already passed the 97th mark. We were gone into like the 98th minute at that point. Craig Pawson isn't a huge fan of ours, so he was going to blow the whistle inevitably anyway. But yeah, you know, at least we didn't lose. I'm not pleased with the performance, but at least we didn't lose. At least we fought for a draw. I can't believe I said that, but anyway. Moving on. Player ratings. I'm actually going to do them today. So Matt Ryan, I'm going to give a 7. I thought he had a decent performance. He commanded his box well. There's not really much he could have. I mean, he went the wrong way for the penalty, but obviously that's a 50-50 chance, whether you get it right or not. And the flick onto Ceballos for the driving shot that led to the goal, like, yeah, the pre-assist from Ryan is why he gets that 7 alone. Bellerin, I'm going to give a 5. I wasn't very confident with Bellerin being at right back. I think at the moment Cedric is definitely better than him, and I think Chambers is probably potentially our primary right back for the rest of the season, but we shall see. I just thought it was an average performance. I didn't think he was that bad. The cross that he put in for Ceballos' header, the disallowed goal, was pretty good, but yeah, it was just average. Gabriel, I'll give a 5 as well. I would have given him a 6. He was okay if he didn't give away the penalty. He was a little bit careless. And I saw Yankee Gunner say that he's had a weird season, which is true. I think the first half of the season, he was immense. Like, nothing could get past him. But the second half of the season, he's been very indifferent. He's been very, like, 1 minute he's immense, he's as good as he was at the first half of the season, then he'll make a stupid mistake like that. So, 5 for Gabriel. I'm going to give Holding a 7. I thought he was really good today. Held up the ball really well, cut out anything that came through. They didn't really have that much threat going forward, and I think Holding was a contributor to that. Xhaka, I'm going to give a 7 as well. I think he did okay. I think he did pretty well. There was one moment where he gave away the ball a couple of times, but other than that, I thought he did okay. Saka was our best player, creating everything from the midfield. Suits him for the most part, because I know that he floated into the number 10 role during that game. So 8 for Saka. Ceballos, I'm going to give a 7. I thought he did really well. I thought he followed up quite well from the performance against Slavia Prague. He was holding up the ball well, trying to get forward, trying to get things created. Again, he's another one that's been indifferent, but today he was pretty good. El Neni, I'm going to give a 5. Like, he cut out a few balls, did a good job as the defensive midfielder, but at the same time, like, there's a reason why we all call him Mohamed El Sideways. Every time he got the ball, sideways. Every time he got the ball, up to Ceballos, up to Saka or whatever. Like, yeah, every single time. So 5 for El Neni. Emil Smith-Rowe, I'm going to give a 7. Again, looked quite bright. I liked his work rate. And I liked the fact that he was always working to get forward. Martinelli, I'm going to give a 6. He was okay. But, you know, a lot of fans have been crying for him to start and saying that, like, sort of using him as a stick to beat Arteta with, and he's been given his chance. He started today. He was bright. He did get in positions. But there were chances, at least one I can think of, that he should have put away, you know. So 6 for him, just an above average performance. Laka, I'm going to give a 7. Again, good gritty performance from him, following up from, you know, his kind of like so-called historic moment from the other night and his 2 goals from the other night. His hold-up play was really good today as well. Then for the substitutes, Partey I'm going to give a 5. I didn't really notice anything good or bad of what Partey did. Pepe I'm going to give a 6. I think a lot of the reasons why we had so many set pieces towards the end of the game is because Pepe was causing trouble. And then Nketiah I'm going to give a 6 as well. He had a couple of chances as well, but the fact that he scored one of them and kind of rescued a draw gets him above average. And then with Arteta, I'm just going to give him a 5 today. Like, I don't think the lineup was bad. I don't think the way that we set up was bad. You know, it's just one of those things. It's just post-European legs, basically. I felt we were just in general very, very leggy today. And speaking of leggy, obviously Lacazette went off with an injury, which is why Nketiah had to come on. Yeah, that's not good, because that really limits our attacking options going forward. Aubameyang is obviously out with malaria. We don't have Odegaard at the moment. And if Lacazette is out for 2 or 3 weeks, you know, he definitely will miss the Villarreal games, which are the most important games of the season at this point. Wishing him a speedy recovery, and hopefully we do get him back sooner rather than later. But, you know, if that is the case, that we're out without Lacazette for a while, I would go with probably Martinelli in that striker role. He did so well against Chelsea away last season in that position when Aubameyang was out. I remember he was injured at the start of the season, so that's why Nketiah was playing a lot more, and I would prefer Martinelli playing over Nketiah, because I feel that Martinelli has that spark and Nketiah has had chances and waste them quite often. So, yeah. Let's see what happens. I guess I'll speak to you guys again for the Everton preview. The game is on Friday, so it'll probably obviously be before then. But yeah, until then, take care, stay safe. This is Deepai signing out.